While the US President Donald Trump seemed to have softened his stance on India, another threat is emerging from the US, and now the target is the Indian IT sector. The US has unveiled a new piece of legislation that could hurt the $250 billion IT services industry in India. The Halting International Relocation of Employment, or the HIRE Act, was introduced in the US Senate earlier this month by Republican Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio. So what is this HIRE Act and how bad will it be for the Indian services sector if it is implemented? Let's decode. The proposed bill seeks to impose tariffs or penalties on American companies that outsource jobs overseas. The goal is to discourage American firms from outsourcing jobs so that the jobs are then created within the country. Now let's break down the main points from this proposal to understand it better. First, the bill introduces 25% outsourcing tax, which means that the tax will be paid by the US firms that are receiving services from the foreign firms, and these services benefit the US customers. So basically, the payment given to the supplier of services will be applicable for this 25% outsourcing tax. Second, the bill bans deduction for outsourcing expenses, meaning US firms now cannot reduce their taxable income by claiming outsourcing work as business expense. Third, all of this revenue from outsourcing tax will go on to a new domestic workforce fund to support worker retraining and programs to boost the US labor force. So it's pretty bad for both the suppliers of services to the US firms and the US firms itself. So now, why is this coming now? The bill resonates with Trump's policy of making companies open up shops in the US instead of outside the country. Trump's trade advisor Peter Navarro has also supported this idea, posting on X. Moreno argues that outsourcing has hurt American workers. You see, outsourcing lets US companies access skilled, cost-efficient labor from across the world, including India. But the bill now aims to reverse this decades-long trend of offshoring jobs by making it financially unattractive for the US companies to employ foreign workers. And so, just like how the president feels tariff it to restrict it, this is the language of this bill too. Now let's talk about the impact on Indian IT and BPO. TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL Tech and Tech Mahindra. You must have heard all these names. They are some of the biggest IT giants in India. Now they earn between 50 to 65% of their revenue from North American clients. They also provide services to Fortune 500 companies. The new tax and deduction ban would skyrocket costs for the US firms that are reliant on Indian partners, and these companies could cut back on offshore work or pass on the cost to the consumers. Even GCCs, American-backed tech hubs in India, would take a hit. GCCs have become a vital part of global business landscape, and many American firms are now establishing large-scale centers in India to handle back office functions. So again, either the end customer will bear the cost or the US firms, but it would be challenging for Indian firms too, because this means that the revenue will take a hit. Experts warn that new tax could shrink profit margins and make deal closures even harder for the Indian companies. While many firms are already trying to expand their regions and diversify their revenue streams, but the US market is still vital as this diversification is on an initial stage. But should you panic now? Well, not yet maybe, because the bill is going to face big hurdles. Under the World Trade Organization rules, countries cannot impose duties on digital services. US companies too are heavily dependent on offshore talent and will probably lobby strongly against this bill. Also, US does not have enough skilled tech workers currently to fill those positions domestically. And despite these worries, big US companies like Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft and OpenAI are growing presence in India by opening new hubs and hiring thousands of people from various cities. In the past year alone, these global tech companies have hired 30,000 employees in India as per a report. So, well, the worries are less till this bill becomes a law, but the key is to be safe, and that is to diversify your revenue streams, and that will now have to ramp up. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments, and like, share and subscribe to ET Now for more such news and views.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.